I used to sell oranges under the hot sun every single day. While other girls my age were in university, posting soft life pictures, I was shouting prices on the roadside, begging customers not to price me too low. But what hurts the most? I wasn't born poor. My father was a wealthy businessman. We had cars, a big house, private school education, until the day he died. That was the day my life ended, or so I thought. At the funeral, my uncle stood in front of everyone and said he would protect my mother and me, protect us. 2 weeks later, he changed the locks to our house.
2 weeks later, he changed the locks to our house. He told my mother my father left nothing for us, Darkama. Nothing. I watched my mother cry herself to sleep every night.
Hello? Are you there? Why won't you answer?
But that wasn't even the worst part. My best friend, the one who used to eat at our dining table, suddenly stopped picking my calls.
You can't just leave like this.
I have to. This isn't working.
Please, don't go.
Goodbye.
And the man I loved, he told me he couldn't date a struggling girl. He said I had no future, no futuri. So there I was, 23 years old, selling fruits, watching my uncle drive my father's car, watching my ex take another girl to the places he promised to take me. And I swore something that day. I swore I would take back everything they stole from me. Not just the money, my name, my position.
I swore I would take back everything they stole from me.
My father's legacy. But what I didn't know was that my father left behind something my uncle never found. And when I discovered it, I found it by accident. I was cleaning my mother's old box of documents, looking for anything we could sell. That's when I saw it. A brown envelope. My father's handwriting. It said, "For my daughter. Only if anything happens to me." My hands were shaking when I opened it. Inside was a letter and a flash drive. The letter said he never trusted my uncle. That, if anything happened to him suddenly, I should check the drive. I didn't even own a laptop anymore. So I went to a cyber cafe. When I opened the files, I stopped breathing. Bank statements, property documents, audio recordings. My father had recorded conversations of my uncle planning to push him out of the company, planning to take everything. It wasn't an accident. My father didn't just die. He was betrayed. And the company, legally, it was transferred into my name months before he died. My name. I wasn't a street hawker. I was the rightful owner. But if my uncle finds out I know the truth, I don't think he'll let me live to claim it. I didn't confront him. Not yet. Instead, I kept selling oranges. I let them think I was still weak, still struggling, still broken. Meanwhile, I contacted the lawyer, whose name was inside my father's letter. When I walked into his office, he looked shocked. He said, "We've been waiting for you." Waiting.
What evidence? This is
Apparently, my father created a private legal clause. If anything happened to him, and I didn't show up within 5 years, everything would permanently belong to my uncle. I had only 6 months left. 6 months to take back my empire. But here's the problem. My uncle had already sold some assets,
No one stands in my way.
transferred money overseas, and the board members, they were loyal to whoever had power, which wasn't me. Not yet. So I made a decision. If they thought I was just a fruit seller, then I would become the most dangerous fruit seller they ever ignored. But I didn't know someone close to me was secretly reporting my movements to my uncle, and that betrayal would almost destroy everything. The person spying on me, Okuma, was my best friend, the same girl who stopped answering my calls. She had been working for my uncle, feeding him information about me. When I found out, I didn't cry. I felt something worse start come up. Cold, calculated. She met me one evening pretending to check up on me. I smiled. I told her I forgave her for abandoning me when I was poor. She didn't know I already had proof of her bank transfers. Proof my uncle was paying her. So I gave her false information. I told her I found nothing. That I was planning to move to another city. The next day, my uncle panicked. He started liquidating more assets. He exposed himself. And for the first time, I saw fear in his eyes. But just when I thought I was ahead, my ex came back into my life, saying he made a mistake and he wanted me back. My ex came back into my life, saying he made a mistake and he wanted me back. He said he never stopped loving me, that he only left because he was pressured. I almost laughed. This was the same man who said I had no future. Now he was begging to see me. I agreed. Not because I missed him, but because I needed information. His new girlfriend, my uncle's business partner's daughter. This wasn't love. It was strategy. And suddenly, I understood everything. My uncle wasn't he just stealing from me, Darka. He was building alliances, securing his position. And Mais, he was part of the plan. So I played along. I pretended I still had feelings. I let him talk. And he slipped. He mentioned a board meeting. A meeting where they planned to officially remove my name from all internal documents. Illegal, desperate, and reckless. They were scared, which meant I was getting closer. But they had no idea. I had already secured something far bigger than the company, something that would destroy them completely.
The lawyer introduced me to someone, an investor. He said he always suspected foul play. And when he saw the evidence I had, we began buying back shares through third parties. And he didn't even know it until the day of the meeting.
Colleagues, the reports are in. We face serious challenges. We must act decisively now.
I walked in wearing the same confidence they once laughed at. He said I had no place there. That's when the investor stood up and announced a new majority shareholder and said something that made my blood freeze. He knew something I didn't. That night, my mother was almost kidnapped. A warning, no police report, no witnesses, just fear. My uncle called me privately. He said power isn't taken with documents. It's taken with force. For the first time, I was scared. Not for me, for my mother. But then I remembered something my father wrote. Trust no one in public, but someone inside the company still believes in you. Someone inside. And suddenly I realized there was one board member who never voted, never spoke, always watching. Maybe he wasn't neutral. Maybe he was waiting. I approached him carefully. The silent board member. And I was right. He knew everything. He had copies of transactions, evidence of fraud, money laundering, tax evasion. My uncle wasn't just greedy. He was criminal. We didn't go public immediately. We waited. We gathered more. And then we struck.
Yes, sir. Opening this one.
Regulators raided the company.
What is this? This is
Accounts were frozen. My uncle was arrested in front of the same staff he once controlled. He looked at me as they took him away. And for the first time, he looked small, but revenge wasn't finished. Because there was still one person left. The one who hurt me the most. He showed up crying, saying he didn't know it would go this far. Saying he still loved me. But I had changed. I wasn't the girl begging for loyalty anymore. I told him something simple. When I was selling oranges, you saw shame. I was building strength. He lost everything. His alliances, his status, his future. And I walked away. Not angry, not emotional. Just done. The company was mine. The assets were restored. The name cleared. But the world still thought I was once just a street hawker. They didn't know the full truth. They didn't know what I had quietly become. And I decided it was time to reveal it. They invited me to speak at an entrepreneurship conference. They introduced me as a former street hawker who rebuilt her life. I smiled. If only they knew. When I stepped onto that stage, cameras flashing, I told them my story. But I left out one detail. What nobody knew was that months before my uncle's arrest, I had already diversified real estate, tech investments, agriculture exports. While they were fighting over one company, I built an empire, quietly, legally, strategically. By 25, I wasn't just a rightful heir. I was a self-made millionaire. The same people who pitied me now asked for mentorship. The same relatives who mocked my mother now sent apologies. But I didn't need revenge anymore, because success was louder than anything I could say. And this is only the beginning.